Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Hannah. Be sure to click that subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up. So today I am filming a sit down video for you guys, and I'm going to be talking about my experience and struggle with acne. There was a point within this last year where I really honestly just felt like giving up. My skin would just get so bad and I never really knew why, and then like the next week it would be perfectly fine again, and it just kept being this like vicious cycle. And I get, you know, sometimes that's just part of life, everyone breaks out, but for me it would always be like the worst possible breakouts. I also feel like acne can kind of be subjective. I know for me, like I don't necessarily feel like I have the best skin, but then all of my friends tell me that I have great skin. And I feel like when I think that my face is really breaking out, then other people are like, oh my God, like I don't even notice that. So I feel like it mostly just has to do with an insecurity that I feel, that I know a lot of other people feel too. And I've really just had to learn a lot of different things throughout the years. So I'm gonna kind of be talking a little bit about my experience with acne, my experience taking Accutane and various forms of birth control, and also really just giving a few pieces of advice. These are things that I just found work for me, and then also talking about a few of my favorite skincare products. So yeah, gonna be unpacking a lot in this video, but hopefully you guys find it very helpful. And I would just like to preface this, like I always do, I by no means am an expert. I am not a licensed dermatologist. A lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is just stuff that I've learned. So like I always say, what works for me may not work for you, but I wanna be able to help you guys as much as I possibly can. So I remember really breaking out for the first time when I was in second grade, which I know sounds crazy, and even like saying that out loud, it seems like such an early age, but I think I just came to realize that, you know, some people growing up experience acne and others don't. And I definitely struggled with it because I started breaking out a lot earlier than a lot of my other friends did, and so I kind of felt like I was going through it alone. Like there weren't people at school or, you know, people in my social circle who I felt looked like me at the time. I would get like horrible breakouts on my forehead in particular. That was like a really problematic area for me when I was younger. And yeah, I just really struggled with it. I mean, I've been going to a dermatologist since elementary school. Probably like the beginning of middle school is when I like really remember getting serious about building a relationship with my dermatologist. But yeah, I'm someone that broke out from a very young age, so I really tried to get a grip on the situation as early as I could. You know, obviously I had other friends that started breaking out when we got to high school, so I mean, I feel like it kind of just varies from person to person, but for me, I definitely started breaking out, I feel like way younger than the average person, which definitely made it harder, because I feel like when you're that young, you're already like pretty impressionable, and you know, you're not the most confident. And I've always been someone who has struggled with confidence. I feel like now at this point in my life, I'm probably the most confident I've ever been, and that really just took a lot of learning. But yeah, when I was going through all of this, my self-esteem was way low. I was so insecure, and also I was really even too young to be wearing makeup at the time, so I couldn't even really like cover it up or make myself feel better. So yeah, it was really tough. And then I got to middle school, and when I was 13, I started seeing an esthetician, and that really helped improve my skin a ton. For those of you that don't know what an esthetician is, it's basically like a medical grade facialist. I guess to kind of put it loosely, that's not really the technical term, but these are people that are trained, that have the credentials to kind of perform these quote unquote procedures on your face. It's not like surgery or anything like that, but basically they're just really in-depth facials that specifically target the problem areas that you're facing with your skin and your complexion. Some estheticians also perform extractions. They'll even lance any sort of acne or zits that you have that are underneath the skin that haven't quite come to the surface. Lancing is basically when they kind of take this hot little needle and extract all of the bacteria and everything that's in your pore that's causing that zit to form, basically. So yeah, I know it sounds really gross and it's not the most pleasant experience, at least when you're experiencing the extractions and the lancing and all of that. The actual facial itself is actually very relaxing, but yeah, the extractions are not the most comfortable thing. It kind of just feels like you're being like poked and prodded at like a million miles an hour, because basically they're professional pimple poppers, but it is oddly the most satisfying feeling. You end up leaving and you're kind of swollen, super red and blotchy, and you definitely don't look your best after you you know, have had a facial from your esthetician. But then I personally always noticed improvements, you know, the following morning. So it definitely was something that really helped to target bad breakouts for me. And so I started seeing my esthetician once a week from the age of 13 all the way up until like high school. So that helped a lot. It definitely wasn't a permanent solution. I was having to also take, you know, different topical medications. I was being prescribed different kind of gels, creams, all that stuff. You name it, I probably tried it. My parents were very, very supportive and very willing to spend the money to help me combat my acne. I know that that is not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people can't even afford a dermatologist. So I am very fortunate to have had that. And so finally, when I got to high school, my dermatologist and I discussed Accutane. For those of you guys that don't know what Accutane is, it is, I feel like, the closest thing to a cure when it comes to acne. It not only treats like current acne, but it also really helps to treat acne scarring. It is a very, very strong and serious pill, especially if you're a woman. They take it very seriously because it has been linked to birth defects. So you typically have to either take some form of birth control or practice abstinence while you're on Accutane. There's a whole process that goes into actually starting your first round of it. You have to get your blood drawn every month to make sure that you're not pregnant. So yeah, it's a lot. Definitely scary, but I will say that it was the best decision I've ever made when it came to my acne. It definitely made things get a lot worse before they got better, and it really did affect my mood in the beginning. I got kind of depressed and pretty sad. There's like one moment I will like vividly remember where I was supposed to go to this Halloween party in high school. It was right when I had started Accutane. I want to say I was probably like a sophomore, maybe. I think I took Accutane my sophomore or junior year. I can't remember exactly what year. But I was supposed to go to a Halloween party, and I just felt so disgusted by the way that I looked. The Accutane was making my skin worse because I had just started it, and yeah, I just felt at my lowest point, extremely insecure, did not want to leave the house. I was crying, and I just felt like my parents felt so bad for me because there wasn't really anything that they could do. And obviously, like, I wanted to rush the process along as quickly as I could, and like they wanted to for me as well, but there was just really nothing that anyone could do. It's extremely important that you follow directions for Accutane explicitly. And so you really have to make sure that you're taking your pills when instructed to, that you're following, I guess, the regimen in terms of completing the entire round of it. I wanna say it's 6 months. Like I said, it's been years since I've taken Accutane, but yeah, I think it's typically 6 months for like one round. And I have had some friends that had to end up actually taking Accutane twice. Luckily, I was not one of those people. Not to say that I think it's necessarily bad to take it twice, but I experienced like very dry skin. My hair really dried out. I used to have super oily skin, but when I was on Accutane, this is really gross, but I could literally go an entire week without showering and you wouldn't be able to tell, other than the fact that I probably really stunk, but my hair looked just as good as it did, you know, right after a shower. It never really got dirty while I was on Accutane. My lips would get really dry and cracked, and I had to constantly like apply lip balm to them, and yeah, just had to really kind of take that into account. It definitely was not the easiest experience, but like I said, paid off in the long run. I had beautiful results after Accutane. My skin was super clear. I stopped having to go to see my esthetician at least as often as I was. I kind of just started going maybe once a month whenever I had like a little tiny breakout from my cycle. But yeah, my like huge, massive breakouts, all of the acne on my forehead, it was all gone. I really only maybe got the occasional pimple around the time of my period, but other than that, like I really never had any breakouts. And I will mention also, while I was on Accutane, I was also on the pill. And that could have honestly helped, because I know that birth control helps a lot of people when it comes to breaking out and when it comes to acne. I don't really know if that was part of it or not, because I was required to take some form of birth control in order to be on Accutane. So yeah, that was my first time taking the pill. I stopped taking the pill after I got off of Accutane, and my skin still stayed really clear, so that was great. For a few years, I want to say it was pretty good. Like I never really went back to breaking out a lot until I decided to get an IUD. I had the 3-year hormonal IUD. It just completely screwed up my skin. It was really frustrating because I felt like everything that I had done, all of the hard work, all of the Accutane and the pills and the medication and all of that to treat my acne, I feel like it all just went out the window when I got the IUD. I had a horrible reaction to it for the first few months. Super depressed, very emotional, breaking out like crazy, just not good. My doctor encouraged me to tough it out for at least 3 months and let my body kind of get used to having the IUD and see if my breakouts subsided. They did, but not as consistently as I wanted them to. And so when I went home in March during the start of quarantine, started breaking out really badly all over again. That's when I really got invested in building a really good skincare routine. That's when I got really into looking into the ingredients that go into skincare products, really trying to figure out what could potentially work well for me, because I didn't want to get the IUD taken out, but I also knew that I couldn't keep going on this way. So yeah, I actually ended up getting my IUD taken out in October. So I had it for 11 months, pretty much a whole year. I have heard that it works really well for a lot of girls, but unfortunately it just did not work for me. I think that it was a great form of birth control, but I just couldn't deal with the side effects that I was experiencing because of it. And yeah, sometimes I've heard that it actually helps to clear acne, but for me, it had the complete opposite effect. which my doctor told me also unfortunately can happen to some people. So it may not happen to you, but it just was not the right fit for me. So I got the IUD taken out and I got put back on the pill, a different pill from what I took in high school, but obviously same idea. And I will say now, yes, I'm still struggling with acne. It's weird because after I took Accutane when I was in high school, and like, I feel like high school is a very typical age to be breaking out. I wasn't really breaking out because of the Accutane, and then my last year of college and kind of now into adulthood, I've experienced more adult acne. So I really have just tried to become super conscious, but also just very understanding. I am my own worst critic. My friends can tell you this. I really beat myself up when it comes to my skin, and I think it just has a lot to do with social media and celebrities and the fact that online and in magazines and stuff we see these women with beautiful glowing skin, and I have wanted that for so long. And I've found, luckily, products that do work really well for me that kind of give me that glow, but I've kind of just come to realize that unfortunately, because of my skin, I'm never going to have, you know, skin that's glowing and pore-free and just soft and supple. Like, that's just not gonna happen for me. It might happen for you, and I really hope that it does, but the harsh reality is that we're all suffering from some form of problems when it comes to our skin, whether it be texture, pigmentation, acne, scarring, you name it. Everyone's got their own insecurities when it comes to their skin. Like, this is a journey. It's not linear. I'm not going to be able to easily get from point A to point B and suddenly have a cure for, you know, my skin. But I can definitely find ways, and I have found ways that really help me combat my acne, combat my breakouts, and just ultimately leave me feeling better and more confident. And I think that it's really important to know that it is completely normal, and if you are suffering from acne or any sort of issue when it comes to your skin, it doesn't lessen the fact that you are beautiful and that you are a deserving person and that you should feel confident, because it's a very normal issue and something that we're all experiencing. And so yeah, I guess now I'm just gonna kind of give like a few pieces of advice. These are just things that I've found work for me. So yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, so my first piece of advice, if you can afford to build a relationship with a dermatologist or an esthetician, then I highly, highly, highly recommend you do so. And that's because, you know, you can learn a lot of really great things on the internet. Do be careful and make sure that whatever you're reading is coming from a reputable source. But I do think that the internet, social media, you know, influencers nowadays, like there are a lot of really good resources out there for you that are free, but a dermatologist is the only person that has a medical license that's actually trained in this, and they really do know what they're talking about. So if you can afford to have someone in your life that, you know, is an expert in this field, then why not? You know, a dermatologist isn't necessarily someone that you have to see all the time, but at least going maybe like every few months just for a check-in. They're also just a really great person to voice your concerns to. I've been very fortunate to have grown up with my dermatologist. My dermatologist is a family friend of ours. I have not found a new dermatologist here in Charlotte, but I do think that it is important to use a dermatologist or an esthetician as a resource. Next piece of advice is to remind yourself that it will take time. You're not gonna wake up the next morning and suddenly have great, beautiful, glowing skin. I wish that it were that easy. I think that that has been my biggest issue throughout this entire journey for me, is that I am not a patient person, and so for so long, I just wanted to find a solution and to just nip this issue in the bud. But it really doesn't work that way, and if it were that easy, then really none of this would be an issue. But know that things won't improve overnight, and unfortunately a lot of products make your skin worse before they make your skin better. Just keep that in mind. I always recommend trying something at least for a few weeks before you decide that it doesn't work for you, because it could kind of just be like purging your skin, getting rid of all those impurities before it starts to help clear it out. But yeah, definitely recommend trying a product for a few weeks before you decide that it's not right for you. But know that it's not gonna happen overnight. You just have to be patient. Unfortunately, that's a reality that I'm still living with to this day. Next piece of advice is sleep on a silk pillowcase and hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So I try and drink at least 64 ounces of water a day. I have this huge, massive water bottle from Amazon, and I've definitely seen an improvement in my skin whenever I'm drinking a lot of water, and I can always tell that my skin's worse when I'm dehydrated. So it is a very well-known fact, and I feel like it's a tale as old as time. The more water you drink, the more you hydrate yourself, honestly, the better your skin will be and the better your health will be overall. And yes, sleeping on a silk pillowcase. So a silk pillowcase is really great for your skin and for your hair, honestly. I'll link the silk pillowcase that I have down below. I just got one off of Amazon for like 20 bucks. I actually have two because when I'm washing one, I like to have another one as a backup, so I don't really have to miss out on sleeping with one for a night. Silk pillowcases have really, really helped me, and that's because if you're someone like me who sleeps on your stomach and therefore you're kind of sleeping on the side of your face, I was breaking out a lot along my cheeks, and my dermatologist and I kind of figured out it's because of the way that I'm sleeping. I also typically keep my apartment pretty warm, so I would kind of be like sweating at night, and when you're sleeping and putting that pressure on your skin and there's like heat and humidity and also the oil from your hair, it kind of all piles up into just a regular cotton everyday pillowcase. But silk pillowcases are proven to be really good for your skin. They're not that expensive. I mean, there are some that are very expensive, but you can easily find a very affordable one from Amazon. Next piece of advice is to learn how to properly layer your skincare products. There is a video that I found down below from Hiram. If you guys are not familiar with Hiram, he is a skincare god on YouTube and on TikTok, Instagram, pretty much all of the different platforms. He is a really great accessible resource for anyone. I think that it's really great that he provides all of this really good and thoughtful insight into skincare completely free. And he does this knowing that there are just people out there that can't afford to have a dermatologist. So he filmed this video that's very, very helpful when it comes to learning how to properly layer your skincare products. I know that when you start to incorporate more products into your routine, it can kind of be daunting, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know what to apply first, second, you know, all that. There is definitely a method to the madness, and it is really important to know how to layer your products, because if you're mixing two products together that aren't supposed to really be used at the same time of day or right next to each other, that it can honestly cause a reaction, or it can basically just render the product useless. So it is really important to learn how to properly layer your skincare products and kind of keep that in mind through your morning and night routine. Right, my last piece of advice is that expensive isn't always better. There are plenty of drugstore brands that are affordable and also really great. I know that CeraVe is one that is really, really great. It's very highly, it's spoken about very highly by dermatologists. Hiram talks about it a lot on his channel. I think Cetaphil, I think that's how you say it. That's another one that I've heard really great things of. Me personally, I don't really buy my skincare from the drugstore. I'm not saying that I would completely rule it out, but just the products that I found that work best for me, I find at Sephora. I use a lot of Drunk Elephant products, which yes, are more expensive, but that doesn't mean that expensive is always better. I swear by reading the reviews through and through. Don't just read the top 2 reviews. Do some deep digging and really read the reviews from months, maybe even a year ago, and really read them and take into account what these people are saying. Just because something is expensive or because it's hyped up on social media doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily work for you. And with that also being said, it is very important to really educate yourself on the ingredients that go into your products. I only like to buy skincare products from Sephora that are labeled clean. This means that they're not used with any sulfates or phosphates or anything that would be necessarily harmful or bad for your skin. I don't recommend buying skincare that has a scent to it, because typically any sort of fragrance can be very irritating. I've had that experience firsthand. So yeah, I think bottom line is it's really just important to educate yourself. Don't just buy something because it looks pretty or because so-and-so told you to. You really need to read the reviews and know that expensive isn't always better. You can definitely find a lot of really affordable dupes that do just as well as do just the same, if not a better job. I'm just gonna kind of try and wrap this up by talking about just a few of my holy grail products. These are just things that I have continuously used for months. Some of these products I've used for an entire year. I try and stick with the same skincare products. I don't think it necessarily is the smartest idea to constantly be incorporating new products into your routine. So these are just products that are tried and trues for me, and you know, just because they work for me, like I said, doesn't mean that they'll work for you. But yeah, I just wanted to share a few of my favorites with you guys before I wrap this video up. Okay, I spoke about this product in a current favorites video, but this is the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow AHA Resurfacing Night Serum. So I am a big advocate when it comes to resurfacing night serums, because now, since I'm not really experiencing acne or really bad breakouts, thank God, I'm mostly just really focusing on the texture of my skin. I still have like some rough little bumps along my cheeks. Not really noticeable to the average person, but it's something that I notice and something that I've been trying to treat. And so any kind of exfoliant has really helped with that. I love this product in particular because when I do wake up in the morning, I do notice that I have a nice glow. So it does really give you that honeymoon glow, which I think is really great, but also you can really feel the product working. A little bit goes a long way. I'm also a really big fan of the Drunk Elephant TLC Glycolic Night Serum. That product is just a little bit more expensive than this one, and actually I kind of notice quicker results when I use this product over the Drunk Elephant Glycolic Night Serum, but both are really great. I highly recommend them. But yeah, I definitely recommend incorporating some type of AHA or BHA into your skincare routine, because it will really help with exfoliation, getting rid of that dead skin, and you know, just leading to healthier glowing skin overall. So one thing that I've learned, I'd say within the last year, is the importance of having a vitamin C serum. Vitamin C really helps with brightening your skin's complexion. So because I was breaking out really badly from the IUD within this last year, I did unfortunately suffer some scarring, but this has really helped kind of firm my skin, brighten up those dark spots. I think it's very important to have a vitamin C serum in your skincare routine. It's definitely something that you will want to apply in the morning. And it is really important to keep your vitamin C serum refrigerated, because that will help keep it fresh. I love this. I mean, I think that this does a great job. I know that the Drunk Elephant vitamin C serum is very popular, and I completely understand why. But yeah, it does recommend to use immediately and don't stock up, because vitamin C is something that can go bad easily. So just keep that in mind. But it definitely helps with brightness a lot if you are someone that suffers from scarring. And I think that vitamin C is something that has really great lasting benefits as well. So yeah, those are just a few of my favorite products. There are plenty of more products that I could talk about, but I think that this video is already long enough. So I hope that you guys found this insightful. If you have any questions or need any advice, please comment down below and I would be happy to help in any way that I can. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It's definitely something that I'm very passionate about, and I hope that you found it beneficial. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching and for the support, and I will see you guys again soon.